This is me pushing my bike around. When I turn the handlebars to the right, the bike goes right. But this is me approaching the camera at about 40 kilometers per hour. This time, watch how my front wheel points to the left for a brief moment before the bike starts to lean to the right. This is because a motorcycle steering behaves differently at different speeds, and the principle at higher speeds is called countersteering. The coolest thing about countersteering is that you don't have to be taught how to do it. You're already doing it whether you're conscious about it or not. If you haven't been riding all that long, you might just not have noticed yet. But being aware that countersteering is how a bike turns at speed can make you a better rider with more intentional steering inputs. It will also make turning feel easier and more intuitive. It was one of the most mind-opening things I learned when I started riding. So today, I wanted to share that with you. This countersteering principle only applies to machines with two wheels that are in line with each other. It's not applicable for trikes, bikes with sidecars, or those weird Can-Am things. They behave more like a car. This means that your countersteering days probably started as a kid on a bicycle without you even knowing it, because they require the same technique to turn. It seems logical that if you want to turn left, you turn the handlebars to the left. And that's exactly what you need to do at low speeds. Because at these speeds, the bike remains upright when turning. You can see here I'm doing about 15 kilometers per hour, and when I turn the handlebars to the left, the bike goes left. But things change as speeds pick up. You don't even have to be going that much faster for things to change. Watch what happens here when once again I turn the handlebars to the left, but this time at 40 kilometers per hour. The bike immediately starts to lean in the opposite direction, and as a result, I turn right instead of left. It's kind of like what Doc Hudson told Lightning McQueen in my favorite movie.
I'll put it simple. If you're going hard enough left, you'll find yourself turning right.
Oh, right. That makes perfect sense. Turn right to go left. Yes! Thank you! Or should I say no thank you? Because in opposite world, maybe that really means thank you.
Yes, Mr. Hudson isn't a motorcycle, but he has the right approach here. You see, motorcycles need to lean in order to turn at speed. If they didn't lean, they would high side when their centripetal forces pull the top of the bike to the outside of the turn. So what countersteering does is initiate a lean in the direction you want to go. It's a brief movement to get the bike to tip over into a turn. All you have to do is turn the handlebars in the opposite direction to where you want to go. An easier way to remember it is to push on the side of the handlebars you want to go. Push left, go left. Push right, go right. Basically, this works because turning the handlebars in the opposite direction you want to go pulls the wheels out from under the bike, causing it to lean in the opposite direction. The top of the bike stays more or less where it was, but the wheels move, and that difference in position makes the bike lean. Some riders will claim that they use their body weight to get a bike to change direction, as in leaning in the direction you want the bike to go. And although that will get it to change direction, it's not nearly as effective as countersteering. For example, here I tried both methods to get the bike to move from one side of the road to the other. For both methods, I accelerated to 50 kilometers per hour and then let go of the throttle. On the first try, I simply leaned my body weight in the direction I wanted to move, and as you can see, this does get the bike to cross the road. But the next time, I pushed on the handlebars with my left hand, getting it to lean, and watch how much faster it changes direction. And of course, combining this with leaning in the direction you want to turn makes it even more effective. Try and do it intentionally on your next ride and see how in control you feel. You won't feel like you're fighting the bike to get it to turn. It's not a complicated concept. Like I said, you're already doing it to some degree without knowing it, because as you can see, there's no other way to turn a motorcycle at speed. So don't overthink it. I remember when I first heard about countersteering, I asked my dad if he countersteers when he rides, and his response was something like, yes, and so do you. But the real question is, do you push or do you pull? And of course, he was right. Everyone countersteers, but you have a choice of whether you want to pull on the handlebars or push on them to get the same effect, or a little of both. Personally, pushing on the bars feels easier and more effective, but I think most riders do a combination of the two subconsciously. And when the time comes that you want to stand the bike up again after a turn, you can do the same thing, but in reverse. Push on the opposite side of the handlebars that you did to initiate the lean. But anyway, that's countersteering. Of course, there is a lot more physics at play than my Neanderthal brain can comprehend or explain to you. But the basics aren't complicated, are very fascinating, and can change your outlook on cornering for the better. Let me know whether you push or pull, and I'll see you on the next ride.